The invitation I never got. I wasn't supposed to know about the family vacation. I wasn't supposed to see the photos. And I definitely wasn't supposed to read the message my sister posted. Family only. 8 years later, they would come begging. My story starts on a Tuesday, the kind of Tuesday that tastes like every other boring weekday. Boring until it wasn't. I was 22 the day my family decided I wasn't one of them. I didn't know I'd been officially cut out until the airport photo dropped online, my entire family smiling in front of the departure gate, matching luggage, matching shirts, matching smiles. My mother. My father. My older sister, Bianca. My younger brother, Ethan. Even my 2 cousins. All of them. 6 people I shared my childhood with. And I wasn't there. At first, I laughed because I thought it was some throwback picture. But then Bianca posted a story. Family trip begins. Finally, a real family getaway. Real family. The phrase punched me straight in the chest. I felt a buzzing under my skin, that electric hum you get right before you break down or explode. I didn't know which one I was heading toward. Then the comments rolled in. Ah. Whole family. So happy for you guys. Where's the other one? Didn't your sister go too? Bianca replied to the last one. Long story. Won't ruin the vibes. That was the sentence that ended my old life. The reason they gave me. 2 days later, when they were already sipping cocktails beside Caribbean blue water, I finally got a text. From my mother. Just 6 words. It was too expensive for you. Not. We're sorry. We wanted to include you. We can help you go next time. No. Just. Too expensive for you. Because I didn't have money. Because I was the struggling one. Because I worked 2 jobs to pay my rent while Bianca worked 0 and lived like a princess in their guest house. I sat on my tiny apartment floor, numb and furious. Expensive for me? Cool. But they bought my sister a $48,000 car the year before. Paid Ethan's entire university tuition. Paid for Bianca's failed boutique business. Bailed out my father's brother 3 separate times. But when it came to me, suddenly, money was tight. As if I was some charity case. As if I should have been grateful they even considered me. I realized something that day. Some families don't love you. They love the version of you that makes them look good. And I wasn't beneficial to the image. The 8 years of exclusion. That trip was the first slice. The rest of the cake came over the next 8 years, and every layer was bitter. Birthdays I wasn't invited to. Thanksgivings where they forgot to send the address. Baby showers where I only learned afterwards from photos. Graduations where they ran out of tickets. Christmases where they pretended I had moved away, even though I lived 20 minutes from them. Whenever I confronted them, they always said, "You're too sensitive. You work too much. You always make things awkward. We didn't think you'd want to come. You weren't stable enough for family events. You wouldn't have fit in." Fit in? Into what? A family that pretended their daughter didn't exist? Eventually, I stopped asking. Stopped trying. Stopped caring. But here's the thing about being abandoned. You either break. Or you build. I built. The turning point, the offer of a lifetime. At 26, after years of financial struggle, I landed a job at a coastal property management firm. I worked quietly. Showed up early. Took every project. Stayed late. Became the one person everyone could rely on. Within 2 years, I was promoted to oversee luxury rentals. I learned everything. How resorts operate. How to manage staff. How to negotiate contracts. How to attract high-end clientele. How to build a brand from scratch. How to take a failing property and transform it. And that's when opportunity knocked. Literally. My boss stepped into my office, dropped a folder on my desk, and said, "You're smart. You're loyal. And I want you to see this." Inside was a listing for a beachfront resort, a small one, aging, but with stunning potential. 3 villas. Ocean views. A private dock. A restaurant space. Land for expansion. The owners were retiring. They wanted someone trustworthy to take it over. Someone with vision. Then my boss said the words that changed everything. "We'll fund 60% of your purchase as an investment if you take lead ownership. You're the only one I'd trust with something like this." My throat closed. Me? The girl who wasn't good enough for her own family's vacations? The girl who was too expensive to include? It felt like someone finally saw everything they ignored. I closed the folder and whispered, "I'll do it." And from that moment, my life flipped. I became the resort owner they never saw coming. The first year was brutal. I scrubbed floors. Negotiated contracts. Learned plumbing and marketing. Fixed roofs and wrote proposals at midnight. Cried, bled, sweated, hustled. But slowly, painfully, beautifully, things grew. Guests started coming. Then influencers. Then travel bloggers. Then reporters. Within 3 years, the resort was fully booked for 9 months ahead. By year 4, I expanded. By year 5, people asked if I inherited it. By year 6, I bought the neighboring property. Year 7, we were featured in Top 20 Hidden Luxury Escapes. By year 8, I was the owner of a multi-million-dollar beachfront resort. The same daughter they said couldn't afford a ticket. Life is poetic like that. The day my mother called. It was the beginning of the tourist season when my phone rang, a number I hadn't saved in years. My mother. I stared at the screen, confused. Why was she calling? I answered. Her voice trembled. "Honey. I need to talk to you." It had been 8 years since she last called me honey. "What is it?" I asked coolly. Her breath caught. We lost the house." I said nothing. She continued. "Your father made some bad financial decisions. Bianca is living with her in-laws. Ethan moved states. We have nowhere to go." Another pause. Then the sentence I will never forget for the rest of my life. "Can we move into your resort?" I laughed. Out loud. I couldn't help it. They excluded me for almost a decade. Now they wanted my resort. The resort I built alone while they were on vacations I wasn't invited to. The irony wasn't just delicious. It was poetic. But I didn't answer her yet. Because the revenge? Oh, it hadn't even begun. The phone call that reopened old wounds. My mother didn't call to apologize. She called because she was homeless. And suddenly, the daughter they discarded became the only option they had left. My mother used to sound strong, sharp, and unshakable. But when she called that morning, she sounded small. Weak. Broken. Panicked. It was almost shocking how quickly a family's pride could collapse when their comfort evaporated. "Sweetheart, can we talk?" The last time she'd called me sweetheart was when I was 18, right before she forgot to pick me up from my college orientation. 5 hours alone in the rain. That was the night I realized love in my family was conditional. So hearing her say it again now? It scraped old wounds like sandpaper. "What's going on?" I asked flatly. My mother inhaled shakily. "We're in trouble." There was that "we" again. She always used "we" when talking about the 3 of them, her, my father, and Bianca. Never when talking about me. "We lost the house," she said quietly. "Your father invested in something stupid. A friend from his golf club. It went badly. We're broke." I felt nothing. No shock. No sorrow. No softness. Just a strange detachment. The kind you only develop after years of being slowly carved out of the family photo. And? I said. She hesitated. Well, we need somewhere to stay. Just for a few weeks. Until we get back on our feet. Weeks? Sure. Until they get back on their feet? That might take years. Maybe never. Then she dropped the bomb. We were thinking. Her voice brightened as if she'd been practicing this part. We could move into your resort. Only temporarily. You have so much space. It would barely affect you at all. I froze. The audacity. The same people who told me I didn't fit in? Who forgot my birthday 4 years in a row? Who blocked me from family gatherings because Bianca didn't want drama? These people wanted to move into my resort? The resort I built from scratch. Alone. With no help. No support. No encouragement. I could taste the irony. It was rich. The guilt-tripping begins. I didn't respond immediately. Silence filled the line like a heavy fog. My mother sensed she was losing control. Oh, come on, honey, don't be this way. There it was. The manipulation. You've done well. You're successful now. You don't have to hold a grudge. A grudge? It wasn't a grudge. It was grief. Years of being erased. Years of being treated like the afterthought. I'm not holding anything, I said. She rushed in. Good. So you'll let us stay? I didn't say that. Her voice tightened. We're your family. That word used to have power. Now it just sounded like a threat. You didn't act like my family for 8 years, I said. She gasped. Is this about that vacation again? Oh my God, you're still hung up on that? Hung up? As if that one event was the only wound. Not the hundreds they piled on afterward. The years of silence. The exclusion. The humiliation. The assumption that I wasn't worth including. I'm not hung up, I said calmly. I just remember. She scoffed. Adults don't keep score. No, I said, adults take responsibility. That shut her up for a moment. And then she blamed me. You abandoned us, she snapped suddenly. You distanced yourself. You stopped coming around. I almost laughed. I stopped coming because you stopped inviting me. That's not true. It is, I said. And you know it. Her voice cracked. We didn't invite you because we didn't want you to feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortable? I repeated. That's funny. Because I always felt most comfortable alone. Another silence. Deep. Uncomfortable. Truthful. Then she whispered. We need you. It was the first honest thing she'd said. But she didn't need me. She needed what I built. My resort. My income. My stability. The daughter they abandoned had now become the only person in the family who could save them. And that was the hardest pill for her to swallow. The family group chat erupts. 10 minutes after I hung up, my phone blew up. My sister Bianca. OMG, Mom said you're refusing? My brother Ethan. Seriously? We're family. My father, someone who barely texted me once a year. This is not the time for selfishness. Selfishness. I nearly screamed. Where was their family loyalty? When I spent Christmas alone? When I missed every vacation? When I begged for help to pay for school and got silence? Where was this sudden family unity then? I ignored them. But the messages kept coming. Bianca sent paragraphs. You can't punish us for the past. You're doing so well now. We're struggling. Why can't you help? We'd help you if the roles were reversed. That was a lie. A delusion. A fantasy version of the family she wished they were. Then Ethan chimed in. At least let Mom and Dad stay. Bianca and I can figure something out. Now it made sense. Bianca didn't want them. Ethan didn't want them. They were passing the problem to me like garbage no one wanted to claim. And then my mom texted. Please. We're coming tomorrow. Just leave the key at the front desk. I stared at the message. Coming. Tomorrow. Not if you agree. Not if it's okay. Just coming. As if my resort was their right. As if my success belonged to them. As if I was still the tiny, quiet daughter who had no voice. They had no idea who I'd become. No idea what I built. No idea I had power now. Control. Confidence. Money. Backbone. They thought I was still the same girl who cried when they left for the airport without her. They had no idea that girl died 8 years ago. The resort staff hears about it. I walked downstairs to the main lobby, phone still buzzing in my hand. My manager, Kai, saw my face and stepped forward. You okay? I handed him my phone. He read the messages. His eyebrows shot up. Wow. They're bold. You have no idea, I muttered. So, what are you going to do? I leaned on the marble counter. I don't know yet. But they think they can just walk in here like they own the place. Kai laughed. They might try. I know. He crossed his arms. What do you want? That question caught me. What did I want? Did I want revenge? Did I want closure? Did I want to prove them wrong? Did I want to protect my peace? I didn't know. Not yet. But I knew one thing for sure. They weren't moving in. Not without consequences. Not without facing everything they did to me. Not without understanding that I wasn't the forgotten child anymore. They had forgotten me for years. Now, I was the one holding the keys. Literally. The day before they arrived. That night, I walked along the shoreline, the waves brushing my feet, the moon casting silver across the resort I built with my bare hands. I thought of everything. The nights I ate ramen because I couldn't afford groceries. The day my landlord threatened eviction. The nights I cried myself to sleep because I felt invisible. The humiliation of seeing my family laughing in photos without me. The loneliness I carried like a second skin. And then I thought of this place. My resort. My staff. My guests. My success. My life. A life I built without them. And now they wanted to move into it? No. Not without hearing the truth. Not without understanding the price of abandoning a daughter. Not without facing me. Tomorrow, they would show up at my resort with suitcases. Expecting open arms. Expecting forgiveness. Expecting comfort. But they had no idea. I was about to give them a welcome they would never forget. The day they showed up with suitcases. My family pulled up to my resort like royalty arriving at their summer home. But they forgot one thing. I wasn't the girl they used to walk all over. They arrived at 9:17 a.m. sharp. Not because I agreed. Not because I said yes. Not because we made plans. They came because they assumed. Assumed I'd say yes. Assumed I'd be desperate for their attention. Assumed they had some permanent claim on my life. I stood on the upper balcony of the main villa, arms crossed, watching the scene unfold like a movie I'd already seen too many times. A silver SUV pulled up to the private entrance, the one reserved for VIPs, celebrities, and high-paying clients. My family didn't belong there. But that didn't stop them. My father got out first. Then Bianca, wearing oversized sunglasses and a fake designer beach hat. Ethan followed, scrolling on his phone like he was bored at a bus stop. My mother stepped out last, clutching her purse dramatically. Then I saw the luggage. 4 massive suitcases. The kind people bring for months, not weeks. Kai walked up beside me and whistled. They packed like they're moving in. They think they are, I said dryly. He shook his head. You want me to stop them from entering? No, I said. Let's see what they do. This was about more than stopping them. This was about letting their behavior expose them. The first red flag. They approached the front desk. My receptionist, Nalia, calm, sweet, professional, greeted them with a polite smile. Nalia, good morning. Welcome to. My mother cut her off instantly. We're checking in. Where's the owner? Nalia blinked. The owner is busy at the moment. My father leaned forward aggressively. Tell her family is here. Nalia smiled politely. I could tell she was about to respond with something calm and reasonable. But Bianca interrupted her too. We're not guests, she said, waving her hand like royalty. We're staying for free. My sister owns this place. My jaw clenched. Kai whispered. They spoke to her like she's dirt. Oh, I said, just wait. They try to force entry. Nalia hesitated. I'm sorry, but we don't have any reservations under your name. My mother laughed sharply. Oh honey, you don't need to check. My daughter is the owner. She'll take care of everything. Just give us the keys. She reached over the desk to grab Nalia's key tray. Nalia physically moved it back. My father slammed his hand on the counter. I said we're checking in. The lobby fell silent. Guests nearby turned. Staff paused. Even the waiter carrying fresh coconuts stopped walking. This wasn't just entitlement. This was humiliation. Public. Loud. Entitled. Nasty. And worst of all, they treated my staff, my people, like they were beneath them. My nails dug into my palm. Kai whispered. You want to stop this? I shook my head. No. They're giving me all the ammunition I need. The moment they realize they're not welcome. Nalia regained her professional tone. I'm sorry, but you cannot stay here unless the owner. My mother snapped. Call her now. Nalia reached for the phone. I stepped forward from the balcony. My voice echoed through the lobby. No need. They all froze. Nalia turned. Staff turned. Guests turned. My family's faces shifted from confusion to shock. My mother gasped. Honey. There you are. We've been waiting. I raised a hand. No. You've been assuming. My father frowned. What's that supposed to mean? It means, I said, walking toward them. You didn't ask. You didn't discuss. You didn't check availability. You didn't consider my life, my business, or my boundaries. I stopped in front of them. You decided you're moving in. And that's not how this works. The explosion. My mother blinked rapidly, stunned. Sweetheart, we're homeless. You're adults, I said calmly. You'll figure it out. My father stepped closer. That's disrespectful. We raised you. No, I corrected. You raised Bianca and Ethan. I raised myself. Ethan scoffed. God, here we go. Bianca folded her arms. You're being dramatic. We just need a place to stay. You have options, I said. Friends. Other relatives. Hotels. My father's voice hardened. You think we can afford a hotel? I stared him in the eyes. I think you should have thought about that before treating your daughter like she didn't exist for 8 years. Silence. Pure, thick, suffocating silence. My mother's lip trembled. You're punishing us. No, I said. I'm choosing myself. The real reason they came. Bianca suddenly stepped forward. Look, let's just be honest, she snapped. We need to stay here because you have the space. And because you owe us. My eyebrows shot up. Owe you? Yes, she hissed. Mom and Dad helped you grow up. They fed you, didn't they? They gave you a home, didn't they? You have all this now because of them. I laughed. Actually laughed. Bianca, I've been paying my own bills since I was 17. You lived in their house until you were 28. That's not the point, she snapped. They're your parents. I nodded slowly. Yes. And parents who abandon their child shouldn't expect luxury when it's convenient. My mother gasped. That's cruel. We didn't abandon you. I leaned forward. Oh. So the 8 years of exclusion were what? Misunderstandings? Bianca rolled her eyes. We didn't invite you because you always made things weird. Ethan added. And you were always struggling. It was embarrassing. There it was. The truth. The reason. Not because they forgot. Not because of lack of space. Not because of money. Because I wasn't successful. Because I didn't fit their pretty picture. Because I wasn't shiny enough to show off. I stared at them. And something inside me hardened permanently. The moment the staff stepped in. Kai came forward politely. Is there a problem here? My father gestured aggressively. Yes. We're trying to check in. Kai cut him off with a diplomatic smile. To stay at our resort, you must be welcomed by the owner. He pointed at me. The owner has not welcomed you. My family turned red. Embarrassed. Humiliated. Outnumbered. My mother's voice cracked. So, what? You're turning us away? I met her eyes. After everything you did to me? Yes. She flinched as if slapped. My father shook his head. You'll regret this. I shrugged. I already spent 8 years regretting trusting you. This part? This is freedom. The final straw. Bianca stomped forward. You're seriously choosing strangers over your own family? I stepped aside and gestured at my staff. They're not strangers. They're the people who supported me. Worked with me. Respected me. Stayed with me. I looked at my family. You didn't. My mother reached for me. Honey, please. I stepped back. No. A tear slipped down her cheek. You're really not letting us stay? I took a breath. Then said the words 8 years in the making. You left me out in the cold when I needed you most. Now you're feeling the cold. And I'm not opening the door. She broke down sobbing. My father cursed under his breath. Bianca threw her hands up. Ethan muttered something about me being heartless. But none of their reactions mattered. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid of them. I wasn't begging for their love. I wasn't trying to shrink myself. They were the ones standing outside, asking for entry. And I was the one holding the keys. But then, the storm came. Just as I turned to walk away. Just as the victory settled into my chest. My mother said one sentence that stopped me cold. One sentence that shifted everything. One sentence I never expected to hear. Fine. Then you need to know the truth about why we left you out. I froze mid-step. Slowly turned back. What truth? She swallowed hard. Tears dripping down her face. It wasn't because you weren't successful. Another breath. It was because of something your father did. My stomach dropped. Kai stared. My father paled. Bianca's eyes widened. Ethan looked confused. And my mother whispered. Something we've been hiding from you for 8 years. The truth they hid for 8 years. My mother's voice shook when she said it. We didn't exclude you because of your failures. We excluded you because of your father's. Time stopped. The ocean kept moving. Waves still crashed against the shore. Seagulls still circled overhead. Guests still lounged by the infinity pool. But inside me, everything froze. My mother's cheeks were wet. My father's face had gone corpse pale. Bianca looked like she wanted to run. Ethan blinked, confused, like he'd just walked into the wrong movie. And I stood there waiting for the world to break open. What did Dad do? I asked. My father opened his mouth. Nothing came out. My mother stepped in front of him, voice trembling. It was 8 years ago, the year we took that trip. The one you weren't invited to. I said nothing. I didn't have to. She continued. That trip wasn't supposed to be posted online. It wasn't for show. It wasn't even a vacation. I narrowed my eyes. Then what was it? She swallowed. It was a meeting. A meeting for what? Silence. My father finally spoke, voice low, tired, and defeated. A meeting with lawyers. The lobby went dead quiet. Even my staff stared. My mother wiped tears. Your father, he was being investigated. My heart thudded. For what? My father closed his eyes. Financial misconduct at my job. I stared. Shock rippled through my bones. Wait. You were being investigated for fraud? He didn't deny it. Not fraud, he whispered. Mismanagement. My mother snapped. Same thing. Bianca shook her head violently. You can't tell her. Oh, shut up, my mother hissed. She deserves to know. I stepped closer. So, what does this have to do with me? My father's shoulders sagged. They were questioning everyone close to me. They wanted to talk to employees, former coworkers, extended family, and you? I finished. My mother nodded. Yes. You. My chest tightened. What about me? My mother looked devastated. They saw your bank records. Your phone logs. Your email. Your job history. Your connections. I froze. Why mine? My father sighed. Because, you were the only one in the family financially independent. The only one who had your own accounts. Your own life. No ties to my company. They thought you might be helping them investigate me. I blinked. Disbelief swirled into rage. So your company assumed I was snitching on you? Not snitching, my mother said quickly. Informing. My father's voice cracked. They thought you were the whistleblower. I almost laughed. A humorless, broken laugh. You thought I was betraying the family? We didn't know, my mother cried. We just knew everything was falling apart. My father ran a hand over his face. We were told to cut all communication with anyone who might be tied to the investigation. Anyone suspicious. Anyone who could take information from us. Suspicious. That word stabbed me cleanly. You thought I was suspicious? Silence. My mother whispered. You were the easiest one to separate from. The final blow. They cut me off. Not because they didn't care. But because it was easy. Because I wasn't protected by their circle. Because I didn't live in their house. Because I didn't need their money. Because excluding me didn't cost them anything. Or so they thought. I shook my head slowly. So the entire family abandoned me. Because it was convenient. Bianca snapped. We did what we had to. You don't understand what Dad was going through. I turned sharply toward her. No, Bianca. You don't understand what I went through. I could feel anger rising in my chest, hot and unforgiving. I spent years wondering why I wasn't good enough. Why you didn't want me. Why you stopped inviting me to family events. Why I was invisible. My voice broke. And all this time, you were protecting him. Not me. My father exhaled shakily. I didn't want you involved. I didn't want you questioned. I didn't want investigators digging into your life. And instead of talking to me, you cut me out? He lowered his head. Yes. My mother cried harder. You were the safest one to erase. Those words broke something inside me. The cover-up goes deeper. My father sat down on a lobby couch, looking older than I'd ever seen him. The investigators monitored communications, he said. We couldn't risk anything. So we stopped messaging you. I scoffed. You didn't just stop messaging me. You stopped acknowledging I existed. He winced. Bianca stepped forward aggressively. Look, Dad almost went to jail. You think we had time to worry about your feelings? Yes. I snapped. Because I'm part of the family. No, you're not, she muttered under her breath. Everyone froze. Even my mother stared at her. Bianca clapped a hand over her mouth. But it was too late. The truth slipped. And hit. Hard. The lobby felt colder. Finally, I spoke. That's how you've always seen me, right? Not part of the family. Bianca looked away. My father didn't deny it. My mother whispered. We didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. The real reason they posted the vacation photos. I took a deep breath. Why did you post the trip online? If it was supposed to be secret? My mother wiped her eyes. That was Bianca. Not us. Of course. Bianca crossed her arms. So what? I wanted to show we were okay. My mother glared at her. We told you not to post anything. Bianca rolled her eyes. You guys were dramatic. Nobody cares. My mother snapped. Because of you, the investigators saw the photos and started watching her too. My stomach dropped. What? My father nodded miserably. We weren't going to involve you. But once your sister posted publicly that you weren't there, investigators assumed that meant something. My head spun. You didn't involve me. Until you did. Not intentionally, my mother whispered. But once we cut you off, they assumed it was because you were talking to someone. I stared at them. So you cut me out to protect yourselves. And then you used my absence as evidence to save yourselves? No one answered. They didn't need to. The truth was written all over them. The breakdown. My father stood, took a step toward me, voice breaking. We thought we were protecting the family. I stepped back. No. You were protecting yourselves. He swallowed hard. We were wrong. My mother sobbed into her hands. Bianca muttered angrily to herself. Ethan still looked confused, like he was processing a math problem too big for his brain. I felt my heart crack open. Not with pain. With clarity. Everything made sense now. The exclusion. The silence. The loneliness. The abandonment. It wasn't personal. It was cowardice. They didn't remove me because of who I was. They removed me because I was easy to discard. And now? They needed me because I was the only one left standing. The irony was almost cruelly beautiful. The final blow. My mother stepped closer. Honey, please. We know we messed up. But we're family. We need you. We have nowhere else to go. I looked at them. At the people who left me behind for 8 years. And only came back when they needed saving. And I felt nothing. Not anger. Not sadness. Just finality. I can forgive the past, I said quietly. But I won't relive it. My mother's voice broke. Does that mean we can't stay? I shook my head. You can't stay here. Bianca gasped. Ethan muttered, bruh. My father's eyes filled with something sharp and wounded. You're really turning us away? No, I said calmly. You turned me away 8 years ago. I'm just returning the favor. Their faces crumpled. And before any of them could speak, Kai stepped forward. Sir, ma'am, we'll escort you off the property now. My family took a shaky step back. And my mother whispered one last sentence. You'll regret this. I looked her straight in the eyes. No, I said softly. I regret every year I spent waiting for you to love me. Then I turned around. And walked away. The fallout, when the world found out. I thought turning them away would end things. But the moment my family walked off the resort grounds, they chose war. They didn't go quietly. Of course they didn't. My mother cried the entire walk to the parking lot. My father muttered curses under his breath. Bianca filmed herself like she was on a reality show. Ethan just looked annoyed that he woke up early for nothing. It should have ended there. But my family wasn't the type to accept consequences. They were the type to rewrite history. And they started immediately. The first hit, social media war. Not even 30 minutes after security escorted them out, my phone started blowing up. Texts. Emails. DMs. Notifications exploding faster than I could read. Bianca had posted a crying selfie on Instagram. Caption. Imagine having a millionaire sister and she refuses to help her family during a crisis. People change when they get money. Hashtag heartbroken, hashtag family first, hashtag betrayed. The comments were instant. Wow, she's horrible. Money really ruins people. You deserve better, queen. Family comes before everything. What kind of monster does that to their parents? And then someone tagged my resorts page. Then 2 more. Then 20. Within an hour, my business page started getting hate comments. You abandoned your family? You're disgusting. Your resort should be boycotted. Hope you lose everything. Kai walked into my office holding his tablet. You're trending, he said. Fantastic, I muttered. But he wasn't smiling. They're tanking the resort's online reputation. That made the anger burn. They came uninvited. Caused a scene. And now wanted to destroy my business? A business I built with sweat, tears, and no help from them? No. Absolutely not. This wasn't sadness. This wasn't guilt. This was war. The second hit, my mother's message. Next came the voice message. A long one. I paused before listening. Took a deep breath. Hit play. My mother's voice was trembling, dramatic, dripping with manipulation. Your sister is devastated. Your father is humiliated. I cannot believe you threw us out like garbage. You think you're better than us? We made you who you are. I rolled my eyes. She continued. You think money makes you powerful? You think success gives you the right to treat us like dirt? You wouldn't have success without this family. I nearly threw my phone. Yes, you built your little resort, she went on, voice cracking. But family is everything. And you just destroyed ours. Then her voice dropped to a whisper. You will regret this. I promise you. The message ended. Kai, who had been quietly listening, said, well, that's intense. I laughed bitterly. That's nothing. You should hear them at Thanksgiving. The third hit, they showed up again. The next morning, I woke to a text from security. Your family is at the guest gate asking for access. Of course they were. I walked out to the gate myself, Kai following behind me. And there they were. My mother in sunglasses. My father pacing angrily. Bianca holding her phone up, recording. Ethan leaning against the fence, bored. I crossed my arms. What do you want now? Bianca started recording dramatically. So, everyone watching, this is the sister who kicked us out. I stepped closer to the camera. And this is the family who abandoned me for 8 years. Bianca blinked. My father growled. You don't talk to your sister like that. Or what? I snapped. You'll exclude me again? Post more lies? Trash my resort? Silence. Bianca lowered her phone. Ethan muttered. This is embarrassing. My mother stepped up to the gate. Her voice was soft, almost broken. We don't have anywhere to go. I swallowed once. You had 8 years to go anywhere with me. You chose to go everywhere without me. Her lip trembled. Please. I'm your mother. I held her gaze. You weren't my mother when I needed one. She flinched like I slapped her. My father stepped forward. You're cruel. No, I said, I'm free. He shook the bars of the gate. You're heartless. No, I repeated, I just learned from the best. My mother sobbed. Bianca glared. Ethan looked like he wanted to disappear. And I turned around. Prepared to walk away again. Then my father yelled something that made me stop. We never wanted you to know the truth. I froze. Turned back slowly. What truth? He looked desperate. Torn. Terrified. Bianca hissed. Dad, shut up. My mother whispered. Don't say anything. But he said it anyway. The secret blow they never planned to reveal. My father's voice shook. The reason the investigators looked into you is because your name was on one of the accounts. My heart dropped. What account? He swallowed hard. The company account I mismanaged. My breath caught. No. That's impossible. My mother cried harder. We didn't want you to find out. What? Account? I repeated. My father wiped his face. Your name was added years ago. I needed someone trustworthy. Someone the auditors wouldn't question. You were the safest option. My stomach turned. You used my name? He nodded miserably. I only meant it as a safeguard. I never thought. That's identity fraud. I shouted. Bianca whispered. He told you not to say anything. Ethan ran his hands through his hair. Oh my God. I took a step back, dizzy. So while you abandoned me to protect yourselves, you were protecting yourselves from a crime you committed in my name? My mother sobbed. We were scared. We thought if you got involved. You thought what? I snapped. That I'd go to jail for something you did? My father's voice broke. I never meant to hurt you. I laughed, a broken, disbelieving laugh. You didn't just hurt me. You sacrificed me. Every memory clicked into place. The sudden silence. The cold distance. The 8 years of exclusion. They weren't freezing me out. They were hiding me. Protecting themselves. By discarding me like a shield. They never expected to use again. And now? Now they wanted to move into the empire I built. To save myself from the life they abandoned me to? No. Absolutely not. The decision. I looked at them. The people who threw me away when it was convenient. Used my name in a crime without my knowledge. And now expected me to save them. I felt a fire build inside me. A fire 8 years in the making. I stepped closer to the gate. You want the truth? I said softly. My mother sniffed. My father swallowed. Bianca crossed her arms. Ethan looked terrified. The wind blew lightly through the palm trees. And I said, "You're never stepping foot on my property again." My mother choked. "No, please. You can leave," I said. "Or I'll call the police and tell them exactly what account my name was used on." My father went dead silent. Bianca dropped her phone. Ethan whispered, "Damn." I turned around and walked away. My voice steady. My heart steady. My power steady. I wasn't the discarded daughter anymore. I was the resort owner. The successful one. The one they thought would never rise. The one they thought they could use. And I was done being used. The last door they would ever knock on. My family returned one last time, pounding on the gate like they owned the place. But this time, I didn't meet them with anger. I met them with truth. They didn't disappear quietly. Of course they didn't. My family had spent 8 years pretending they were untouchable, important, elite. They weren't built for humility. They weren't built for consequences. So after I threatened to expose the financial mismanagement, after I told them they would never step foot on my property again, they did the one thing desperate, cornered people always do. They escalated. The last visit. 3 days passed with silence. Then, 4:55 p.m., Friday. Kai burst into my office. "They're here." I didn't need to ask who. Gate or lobby? I asked calmly. "Neither," Kai said, jaw clenched. "They're at the private residential entrance." My stomach tightened. That entrance was for me. Only for me. I walked out, Kai and Nalia flanking me. And there they were. My mother. My father. Bianca. Ethan. No luggage this time. No sunglasses. No dramatic entrances. Just raw, tense desperation. My mother's eyes were red and puffy. My father looked exhausted. Bianca was shaking with anger. Ethan looked sick. I stopped 10 feet away. "What now?" I asked. My father stepped forward. "We need to talk." "No," I said. "You need something. There's a difference." My mother clasped her hands. "Please, just listen." I have listened, I cut her off. 4 weeks. To your lies. To your guilt trips. To your manipulation. To your excuses. Bianca scoffed. "Oh my God, you're so dramatic." I snapped my gaze to her. "I'm dramatic? You excluded me for 8 years because I was the easiest one to erase. You used my name on an illegal account. And I'm dramatic?" Bianca looked away. My father inhaled deeply. "Look. I made mistakes. I admit that. I was scared. I panicked. But you're blowing this out of proportion. You put me on a financial document tied to a crime," I said sharply. "That's not a mistake. That's a felony." My mother sobbed into her hands. "We didn't want you to know. We were trying to protect yourselves," I corrected. "Not me." Silence hung heavy. The real reason they came back. "Why are you here?" I said. My father's voice broke. "They froze our accounts today." Ah. There it was. Motive, revealed. Bianca stepped forward, her voice frantic. "We can't access anything. Dad's under investigation again. We can't pay for a hotel. We can't rent anything. We don't have any credit left. Mom's medication." My father cut her off sharply. "Don't overshare." Overshare. They were homeless and still worried about appearances. I crossed my arms. And what do you expect from me? My mother wiped her eyes. We thought, maybe, we could stay with you. Just until this blows over. I stared at her. Here? At my home? Yes, she whispered. We need you. The wind rustled through the palm trees. And for the first time since I built this resort, I truly felt in control. But I wasn't cruel. I didn't want revenge to rot me from the inside. I wanted closure. So I asked, why should I help you? My father bristled. Because we're family. I shook my head. No. Family doesn't abandon you when you're inconvenient. Family doesn't erase you to protect themselves. Family doesn't use your identity without your consent. Bianca raised her voice. We didn't have a choice. I stepped toward her slowly. Yes. You did. And you chose your comfort over my existence. Bianca's lip trembled. My mother broke down completely. Sweetheart, we're sorry. I studied her face. For the first time, I saw genuine remorse. Not manipulation. Not strategy. Not excuses. Actual guilt. It was strange. Painful. Human. But it didn't erase what they'd done. The easiest person to leave behind. I spoke softly. When you cut me off, did you ever think of me? Even once? My father looked at the ground. My mother nodded weakly. Every day, she whispered. I missed you every day. I looked at Bianca. She looked away. I looked at Ethan. He glanced down, ashamed. Then why? I asked, voice cracking. Did none of you ever apologize? Or reach out? Or explain? Or even send a birthday message? My mother cried harder. We were afraid. Too much time had passed. We didn't know how to fix it. So you didn't, I replied. No one spoke. The decision they weren't prepared for. Finally, my mother whispered. Please. Just let us stay. We'll sleep anywhere. We won't bother you. Just give us something. My heart clenched. Because I'm not heartless. I'm human. But boundaries aren't cruelty. They're self-respect. And helping someone doesn't require sacrificing yourself again. So I took a breath. You can't stay here, I said gently. My mother broke. My father stiffened angrily. Bianca looked furious. Ethan muttered brutal. But I held up a hand. You can't stay with me. But I will help you get somewhere safe. My mother looked up. What do you mean? I booked you a month at a small rental nearby, I said. And I paid for groceries and basic needs. She gasped. My father blinked. Bianca's jaw dropped. Ethan murmured, damn, okay. My father frowned. You're not letting us stay with you, but you're paying for somewhere else? Yes, I said clearly. Because helping doesn't mean allowing toxic people back into your life. It means giving them a chance. Without giving them control. Kai stepped forward with printed paperwork. All arranged, he said. My mother took the papers with shaking hands. She stared at them. Then stared at me. Why? She whispered. Why help us at all? After everything we did to you? I inhaled deeply. Because cutting you out completely would make me like you, I said softly. And I refuse to be that person. Her eyes filled with fresh tears. I continued. And because I know how it feels to have no one. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Not even you. My mother broke down. My father looked away, ashamed. Bianca's bravado crumbled. Ethan looked oddly relieved. The final goodbye. They took the papers. They thanked me quietly. And they turned to leave. But before they walked away, my father paused. He turned to me slowly. And in a voice cracked open by humility, he said, "I'm sorry." Not dramatic. Not elaborate. Not manipulative. Just, "I'm sorry." My mother echoed it through tears. Bianca whispered it. Barely audible. Ethan nodded solemnly. And I nodded back. "I know," I said. "And I forgive you. But forgiveness isn't the same as trust." My father swallowed hard. "I know." Then they walked away. Not triumphant. Not entitled. Not demanding. Just human. Broken. Humbled. Silent. And I watched them go. Knowing this was the last time they would ever arrive at my door expecting a place in my life. The real revenge. Kai stood beside me. "That was a lot." "Yeah," I whispered. "You did the right thing," he said. "I know," I said softly. "And it wasn't for them." He tilted his head. "It was for me." I smiled faintly. "I finally chose myself." He nodded. "And that," he said, "is the real revenge." The sun dipped below the ocean horizon. Palm leaves swayed gently. The resort lights flickered on. Guests laughed in the distance. My life. My peace. My success. Uninterrupted. Untainted. My own. For the first time ever. I wasn't the forgotten daughter. I was the woman who built everything she needed. When the world refused to give her anything. I walked back into my resort. My home. My sanctuary. My triumph. And closed the doors behind me. Knowing they'd never knock again. And if they did, I wouldn't hear it. Because some doors only open once.